topics. First of all, we'll start from the NCERT because something is given in NCERT. Many important things are given in NCERT that is not I didn't find in Sandeep Garg. So first of all, I'm starting the chapter. This is the statement: only the tillers of the soil live by the right, and the rest from their train and eat only the bread of dependence. That is the statement given by Thiruvalluvar. That is the Tamil poet, and he gave this statement. Many times he just gave the his poem on economic and political issue. So the name you have to just learn, that is Thiruvalluvar. Fine, and this is the saying. So what is the meaning of this? This is the meaning of this, that you want to say that it is the peasant or farmer who are doing the production activities, and rest of the people depend upon their production. So here he wants to say that peasants or cultivators, farmers, have the ultimate right other than just in the dependence of the product or the yielded by the farmer. So whatever production given by the farmer, they depends upon other people, depends upon those production. So this is the saying that can come. Who quote this quotation? What is the meaning of quotation? Likewise, and that quotation can be joined with the, can be added with the some other question. So you have to understand this quotation. Now the next thing, in chapter 4 we studied how poverty was a major challenge facing India. So major challenge of the India is that is poverty, and we also come to know that the majority of the poor live in the rural area, whereas they do not have access to the basic necessities of life. So now agriculture is a major source of livelihood in the rural sector. This is one mark question. Then what is the major livelihood in rural sector? That is agriculture. Mahatma Gandhi once said that real progress of India did not mean simply the growth and expansion of industrial urban center, but mainly the development of villages. So this is the saying by Mahatma Gandhi. That quotation can come, and that can be asked that who said this. You will say that, you will write down Mahatma Gandhi said that the real progress lies with the villages, not only with the urban area. So the idea of village development begin at the center of the overall development of the nation is relevant even today. So here is it has been said it has been said that in this 20th century it is also very important to for the development of the villages rather than the development of the urban. Why is this so? Why should we attach such significance to rural development when we see around us fast growing cities with large industries and modern information technology hubs? So when the urban areas are developing too much, so why there is a need of development of village area nowadays, even in 2020 century? So it is because more than 2/3 of the India's population depends upon agriculture. That question can come again of one mark, that how much percentage of population, how much part of the population depends upon agriculture. There you will write 2/3, and that is yet to become productive enough to provide for them, and 1/3 of the rural India still lives in the abject poverty. That is another question. How much percentage of how much part of the rural India depends upon live in the abject poverty? That is 1/3. This is another question, guys. So this is the reason that why we have to develop rural India. If our nation has to realize real progress, then we have to develop rural development. So the development of urban is not only enough, we need to develop the rural area also. So now the next question is, what is rural development? Rural development basically it is a comprehensive term. So that is basically focus on the development of the area that are lagging behind in the overall development of the village economy. And then some of the area which are lagging behind, which are challenging, need fresh initiative for the development in rural India. These are these things. So that you have to go through, and that are given in the Sandeep Garg also, but here it is given more nicely. So you have to go through with this paragraph. So here I am discussing the definition of rural development that is given over there in Sandeep Garg. Rural development refers to the continuous and comprehensive socio-economic process, and that attempting to improve all aspects of rural life. So we are not talking about the economic life, we are talking about the social also and other aspect of the rural life. So everything should be developed in the rural area. So that is the rural development. Fine. Many times they have rituals which just have the exploitation of the people of the weaker section. So that should not be there. So rural development is in all respect. This is a perfect definition that you can give for the rural development. Now the next thing is, what are the area which are lagging behind over there? So here the areas are given in your book, that is process of rural development. These are the area which is lagging behind, which is needs more attention if you want to develop the rural area. So they are given in the heading. Otherwise you have to go through this NCERT. So I will suggest you for doing this, you have to go through NCERT. So now, development of human resources including. So this is the heading, development of human resources, that include literacy, especially among female, and then education and skill development program should be initiated there. Sentence making you can do easily. Health, addressing both sanitation and public health, they are very important issue regarding the development of human resources over there. Then land reforms are also need attention. So what is the land reform? Basically statutory division of the agricultural land and its reallocation to landless people to abolish feudalism, that is the land reform. So this is the definition of land reform that you are to mention over there. So land reform is very much necessary because the land should be given to those laborer who are landless, those farmer who are landless. So improvement of social economic condition, also land reform should be there. And agriculture productivity, and to increase the agriculture productivity, production, to stop the exploitation, that land reforms should be initiated in all the ways. Now the development of the productive resources of each locality. So that includes basically there the development of the each resources of all locality should be developed. All locality means each and every corner of the village they are talking about. Each and every part of the village should be developed in all the ways. Whatever activities, whatever economic or socio activities they are doing, there should be development or upgradation in that. So that includes the development of productive resources in each locality. There should be employment in for the each locality, each type of person over there. So next thing is infrastructure development like electricity. So infrastructure development should be there, definitely it is more required. Electricity, irrigation, no need to explain. Electricity, irrigation, water, irrigation is related to the water facility in the village area. Credit, marketing, credit means the loan should be easily provided to the farmers at the especially through the institutional sector. And then marketing means they are basically they are the producer and now they need market to sell out their product, so that should be there. Transport facilities should be there. And then in construction of villages, feeder road are the road basically that road which run parallel with the high speed road and allowing easier access to the local amenities. So there should be some road, it should not be done then always they have to go through the highways. So some adjacent road should be there like feeder road. And research and extension and information dissemination, that is over there. Special measures for alleviation of poverty and bringing about the significant improvement in the living condition of the weaker section of the population, enthusiastically access to the productive employment opportunity. So special measures should be taken to avoid the poverty over there, so to increase the employment over there. Now all this means that people engaged in the farm and non-farm activity in rural area have to be provided with various means that help them increase the productivity. Now they also need to be given opportunity to a diversification in the various non-farm productive activities. So what are the non-farm productive activities? Basically non-farm productive activities are the non-agriculture activities like food processing, like fishing. Another genetic industry should be developed over there. Small scale industry should be developed over there. It should not be that every time people depends upon the agriculture over there. Now activities such as food processing, enabling them better and more affordable access to healthcare, sanitation facilities at workplace, home, education for all would also need to be given top priority for rapid rural development. So all these should be given more importance like health, education, sanitation, non-farm activities, employment, all these should be there. And it was observed in the earlier chapter that although the share of agriculture sector contribution to GDP was on a decline, as you know that there is a less contribution to GDP comparatively secondary sector through this agriculture sector. The population dependent upon this sector did not show any significant change, but the population depend on agriculture, that is there is no decline in that, but the GDP contribution is declining. So further, after the initiation of the reform, the growth rate of agriculture sector decelerated to about 3% per annum during the year 1991-2012. That question can come, why the growth rate of agriculture sector decelerated to about 3% per annum during the year 1991-2012? Here this is the answer, which was lower than the earlier year basically. Now there is a decline in the public investment since 1991. So this is the main reason. Public investment has been declining through from the 1991 as a major reason for this. And they also argue that the inadequate infrastructure, lack of alternate employment opportunities over there in the industrial service sector, increasing casualization of employment. Casualization means they are not getting the permanent work, etc. Further impede means slow down, further impede the rukavat dalna, that is impede, further impede the rural development over there. Now the impact of this phenomena can be seen from the growing distress witnessed among the farmer across different part of India during 2007-12. Agriculture output has grown at 3%. Now the 2007-12 the agriculture sector has been grown up. Now what is the reason against this? There is a basically credit and marketing system have been developed, agriculture diversification and role of organic farming in promoting the sustainable development. These are the three reasons why during 2007-12 agriculture output hasn't grown by 3.2%. So this is the paragraph you will find only over there, so that you have to go through with the NCERT. Three things they just mentioned over there for the development of agriculture sector during the year 2007-12. That is, first of all, credit and marketing system. This is the first point. Credit and marketing system. Agriculture diversification. You will find the explanation in the later pages of this book, in this chapter. Role of organic farming in promoting sustainable development. So these three things basically initiated during this period. That is why there is a growth of agriculture sector 3.2% during the period 2007-12. That you will not find anywhere in the Sandeepgarh. So you have to go through this book, because if the question comes, then you will get confused. Then why they are talking about why they are knocking at specifically here. So there you have to write down these things. So that is the credit and marketing in rural area. So regarding the rural credit, we can go through the definition first. So here the definition of rural credit. Basically, rural credit, if we're talking about, because why rural credit is first of all the question will be why rural credit is required over there. Because there is in agriculture sector, there's a farmer are in strong need for credit due to long time gap between the crop sowing and the realization of income. So when there is a time of crop sowing, and then after the crops has been cut out and that has been sold in the market, there is a long time gap between that, and there are lots of care, lots of things they are required, like rainfall and many other things they are required during that time in an adequate way. Otherwise their crop can be spoiled. So why they need rural credit? Because of this. Then there are various means and various reasons why from that there are various reasons that's why farmer borrow the money, and there are various means through which farmer can get the credit. There are means are basically, now we are discussing the means. That is non-institutional sources and institutional sources. Among the non-institutional sources, money lender, relatives, landlord can be there, rich landlords, traders and commission agents, they all are there as a non-institutional sources. Non-institutional sources, if they are, then that means high rate of interest, that means definitely mortgage of their land even, and then no legal formalities in this case, because they are to farmers are in severe need of money, and they are to follow, they are ready to follow all the condition given by this rich landlords and money lender. But in the case of institutional sources, the main institutions are there: cooperative credit, land development bank. You have to learn all these names: commercial bank credit, regional rural bank, the government, and the national bank for agriculture and rural development, that is known as NABARD, and self-help group bank linkage program for microfinance. So that can be asked that which is the bank linkage program for microfinance, you will ask self-help group. So these are the institutional sources. If the farmer follow institutional sources, then they will have the credit at the lowest rate, cheapest rate, and they will get also be helped by this institution. In the case of debt trap, or suppose their crops has been spoiled, then they can give the benefit. But when they follow the non-institutional sources, then they will be the great trouble when there is a debt trap, because farmers are so poor and they are always in need of the money to carry on their business and for other things. Here I am pointing out something very important over there. A major changes occurred after 1969 when India adopted social banking and multi-agency approach. So social banking is self-help group over there, and multi-agency means there are cooperative credit, land development bank, commercial bank credit, regional rural bank, the government, there is NABARD. So all these institutions are over there. Later the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, that is NABARD, was set up in 1982. So that is very important year. You have to learn that year, because that can be asked in the question. So when the NABARD has been set up and what is the full form of NABARD, that can be asked. So NA for national, B for bank, fine. For agriculture and rural, R for rural, and D for development, fine. So major changes occurred after 1969 when India adopted social banking like self-help group and multi-agency approach.